Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the next episode of the McDonCast.
#1 podcast in the genre of podcasting.
Episode 31.
The episode with episodes. All right, we've got gaming news, we got TV news, we got movie news, we got new Pokemon announcements, new GTA announcements, new Smash Bros. We've got, what do we have in TV? Some stuff about CW probably.
Do you guys like Smallville?
And Smallville stuff. Movies, we got Suicide Squad, Shang-Chi, and Clifford the Big Red Dog. So we got a stacked episode for y'all today.
Patrick has, as always, seen none of the trailers we're going to talk about.
I've seen Loki, though.
He did watch the shows required
Patrick
for discussion.
did 25% of his job.
I did watch F9.
And
That's
F9,
true?
which
And
we saw.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about F9 today.
I can't wait for
that's gonna
F10
be
where
the
they
title.
kill God.
McFast and McFurious.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
going to
be
be
the title.
All right, anyway.
More furious.
Sam, what was the Pokemon Unite trailer?
So you know Dota, the game for PC from like 20 years ago. It's that, but if they're instead of whatever characters they have, it was Pokemons.
Are you excited?
It's a mobile game, and it's got battle passes and skins for the characters.
Are you telling me it's got microtransactions?
Oh, it's loaded with microtransactions, baby.
Oh,
Everyone's
thank God.
favorite.
That was missing for Pokemon.
Honestly, yeah. I was sad that the regular mainline Pokemon games didn't take on the Pokemon Go route of being unplayable unless you pay them.
All right.
Which is good that this game is doing that.
That was our only trailer. Sam, is there also a beta available?
There is a beta available on Nintendo Switch and iPhone, so not on Android though. If you're an Android buddy, you're out of luck.
Get out of here. All right. So,
Yeah, hang on.
if you guys remember, like 8 years ago, GTA 5 came out. And about 5 years after GTA 5 came out, people went, when's GTA 6 coming out?
They were like, never.
And they went, we haven't even started development yet. Well, we now know they have started development, and according to a recent GameSpot article, according to Take-Two's statements during a shareholder event, that they do not expect the game to be complete and ready for release until 2025.
Which is fine because GTA 5 was perfect.
So if you really loved playing GTA 5 on every console ever made, you'll be able to do that.
They also said that it will have a changing map a la Fortnite.
That's what I wanted.
And take place in the 80s.
That's neat. So that's so long. That's gonna be in the second half of this console generation, this new one.
Mm-hmm.
The one that just started.
Mm-hmm.
Epic.
That means it's potentially gonna launch so long from now that it'll also release on the PlayStation 6.
That is good.
And the
there is
PS5
potential
came
that
out
could
less than a
actually
year ago.
That is perfectly fine with me.
Seems normal. Normal development happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm okay with just keeping GTA 5 forever. I don't think we need a new one.
No, the fan base hates GTA 5.
Watch. This one's gonna be a top-down game like the first
They
two.
say they hate it, but then they keep playing it.
Yeah, no, because it's a long story. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Sonic 30th anniversary was on Wednesday the 23rd.
A whole week ago.
So Sonic, happy birthday. Do better. Stop being awful.
Really excited for Sonic 2. The movie.
Sonic, can't wait for Sonic the second movie.
I'm more excited for the movie than whatever the crap Sonic team is making. Right
Yeah,
now.
because they don't make games. They make poop for TV screens. All right. New Smash Bros. Character and Sakurai presentation. Tucker, did you actually watch the presentation?
Mm-hmm. Kazuya. So, obviously Kazuya is from Tekken. And Tekken is like the technical fighter. As in like, there's a million different moves.
Is that the one you predicted?
And they and they require like precise inputs, and you have to memorize all the inputs and then memorize all the consoles.
We haven't played Tekken.
So Kazuya has a lot of moves. He controls very weird. the control stick only has 8 directions for him,
Mhm.
because that's how many there are in Tekken, and so you can do a bunch of combos with those. He looks real neat. I haven't gotten to play him a whole lot yet, because he just came out at like 8 p.m. yesterday here.
I
don't know
haven't
why
even
that was a thing.
downloaded the update yet.
So he did launch yesterday. So we'll see what he's like. And other news from the presentation Sakurai did is that the Min Min amiibo will launch in 2022. And he also said that this next Smash character they're gonna reveal is the last one. They're not gonna do another fighter pass. They're not gonna do any more bonus guys. It's the last character in Ultimate. And he said he'll finally be able to like take a break.
To sleep.
That's not allowed.
To go home and see his family.
And because of the Mii costumes revealed during the presentation, the following characters will not be that final character. Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, Dragonborn from Skyrim, Shantae, and Dante from Devil May Cry.
I'm surprised that they even put a Skyrim anything in. I was not expecting anything remotely Skyrim related.
Dante will not be the next guy.
So Smash Bros. Will never say featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Well, they can on the Mii costume.
Yeah.
In Smash Ultimate 2.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think it's going to be a first-party route.
Maybe they'll have to rename this Smash. They'll rename it to Smash.
What other
Penultimate.
first-party reps even are there that like anyone would care about?
Waluigi.
Make a prequel to Smash Ultimate and call it Smash
Yeah, actually-
Penultimate.
It could very well be Waluigi.
Honestly,
at this
he
point.
was
It's not Waluigi, I'm gonna die.
That is currently, of the characters they haven't deconfirmed for themselves, he's the biggest character they could
Yeah,
have.
he's the only character I think that there's any hype for that they have.
Unless they pull Master Chief out of their butts for some reason.
Yeah. Imagine how cool it would be if they did a bait and switch like Halo 6 coming to Switch and then it was actually a Smash reveal.
That'd be pretty dope.
That would be. That
Oh,
would
and he did say it'll be a while until that reveal, which makes me think Game Awards.
Yeah.
Now we move on to TV news.
Wait.
there,
Oh yeah, that's it.
There were no trailers for any TV this week.
I do love a good short gaming section.
There was a mid-season trailer for Loki, but
It had no new
that's
footage in
it.
it.
Yeah.
All stuff we've seen.
Yep. Tom Welling, who you will know as Clark Kent in Smallville, was doing a cameo video. Cameo as in the app where you pay celebrities
To say
say happy birthday. He revealed that he and Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor in that show, are working on an animated Smallville follow-up with as much of the original returning cast as possible, those who are not currently going to prison.
Are you excited?
What are I think the character's name is Sarah, I forget the actress's name. She was involved in a pedophile ring.
Oh, that's nice.
We should get Tom Hiddleston to cameo,
So...
and then just we should get him to tell us.
So there is a bunch of Smallville continuations that already exist. Obviously, there's a comic that ran for a while, and there's also he was in Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how his story ends. He gives up his powers to go have kids on a farm.
He doesn't even give up his powers. He just decides to not be Superman anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, yeah, no.
No, he doesn't have powers anymore.
Screw
gives them up.
the people that are dying.
And,
Just sit at home.
So obviously, like, he has to be Superman now.
Yeah, otherwise.
Because that's
the
what
show
he
makes
did at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So it's really just going to be a Smallville animated like just a Superman cartoon. That's fine.
Maybe it'll take place after the Crisis thing. He's like, you know what? I'm done being Superman. I'm gonna.
I think it's just going to pick up where the show left off.
Imagine how-
Even though that hole's been filled with those comic books they did.
But imagine how dumb it would be if it was after the Crisis thing, where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go be Superman again. Actually.
No, it's after the Crisis and he's just on a farm.
Yeah, no, it's just farming simulator.
It's Clark,
Superman.
it's Clark Kent, farmer.
That would be good.
And Lex Luthor will show up and be like, hey, Clark, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm farming.
All right.
Want to farm with me? We can do farm bros.
HBO Max announces a Madame Xanadu TV series.
Oh
Of
my
course,
God, and they
related,
got JJ, so we know it's going to be good.
of course, to being developed by J.J. Abrams and Angela Robinson. Obviously, this is part of their Justice League Dark thing they're trying to develop over
Who is
there.
even Madame Xanadu? What
She's
exactly
on the
does
Justice
do?
League Dark.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the Justice League Dark.
Imagine if they actually just kept developing the Justice League regular.
She's a sorcerer. She appeared in the television series Swamp Thing.
You remember Swamp Thing?
Mm-hmm.
He was the Swamp Thing?
Yeah, that guy lived in the swamp.
Right.
Looked
She
like
can-
a thing.
Her powers include precognition, sense and interpret magical forces, and immortality.
So just random magic powers.
Essentially.
So it's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch character. Okay,
That's fun. Obviously, I know they're also developing a Constantine show.
Didn't they already make one of those?
They're gonna do another one.
Good.
They're gonna make a bunch of shows because, like, they're doing a Zatanna movie and a Constantine show. They're gonna do a bunch of things and then bring them together in a Justice League Dark project, all on HBO Max.
I'm
Sounds
waiting
great.
for that.
I know you love Justice League Dark.
Oh, this is on the. Oh wait, no, we still have more stuff.
Sam.
Marvel-themed Simpsons shorts to debut on Disney Plus in July.
Oh, I forgot to put this on here, but Tom Hiddleston's gonna be in that.
And Tom Hiddleston's gonna be in it, I guess. Yeah, no, he's doing a crossover.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we've got these properties. Let's just make them
Just
do
smush them
something
together. It's like the Phineas and Ferb Marvel crossover. Remember that episode?
Mm-mm.
The Star Wars one?
No, the Marvel one.
Oh, I remember that one.
They made
They
Iron
lost
Man
their
was
powers.
there and
They lost their powers, but for some reason Hulk was still in Hulk form,
Oh,
and
right, they fought Modo.
Iron Man just couldn't move,
mm-hmm.
and MODOK was the villain.
And Perry the Platypus was there.
Yeah, he was. I did like the Doofenshmirtz plotline in that episode. That was great.
I don't even remember what it
That's the one where he's like arguing with the Red Skull the entire time.
was. Oh yeah. All right. Anyways, set leak. Oh, Max, you're gonna like this one. So Netflix has some set leaks. They're making another live-action anime adaptation. I'll give you 3 guesses what it is.
I don't want to do this.
It's One Piece.
No.
For context, One Piece is over 1,000 episodes long,
What are they gonna
And has no ending.
and as of now has no ending in manga or anime form.
So they're just gonna have to make it a lot shorter.
Yeah. And if Netflix is good at one thing, it's making stuff a lot shorter.
They're gonna come up with an ending before anyone else does.
They'll get 1 season and it won't get renewed.
No, they'll do 3.
And it's
That's what Netflix
Wait,
does. They do
is
3
this show?
seasons.
yeah.
They're doing a live app. What?
Yes, they're doing a live-action One Piece show.
That's like 900 episodes.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
They
matter.
kick, well, a lot of that's filler. They just cut that out.
Just cut out the non-plot lines.
No, see, the
So-
problem with One Piece is that there's very, very, very little filler. Like, it's 900 episodes,
Yeah,
but almost
there's-
everything is related.
There's not a lot of backstory.
They should do a live-action Beyblade.
I'd watch that.
You can do that in real life.
Yeah, that's just 2 people playing Beyblade.
Okay, I'm on it.
McDonald Media Studios. Here we go. Beyblade live
And
action TV show.
so aside from that news,
The Halo TV series, which has had a
Actually,
rocky development that's been for like 10 years.
No, it's been perfect. No
it's been
flaws.
how long have they been making this show?
They
Not
announced
long
it
enough.
at like E3 2011. Like Spielberg was attached
Yeah.
at that point. Like Steven Spielberg was
Yes.
attached. He left.
Creator of Indiana Jones and some other things.
Jurassic Park.
Park.
So he left. They've had like 4 showrunners they've been working with. It was gonna be on Showtime, but now it's on Paramount Plus. They finally started filming a few months ago. They're actually close to completion. But their showrunner has exited the show before they're even done filming the first season.
That's a good sign.
That's a great sign. I
I've
don't see
never
how this
seen
gonna go wrong.
anything go wrong when that happens.
If history repeats itself, then we'll know it's going to be very good.
What I don't understand, this is supposed to be Paramount's like Mandalorian,
Mm-hmm.
and they're losing their showrunner midway through
They
production.
should have got Dave Filoni and other guy. John
Honestly,
Favreau.
Dave Filoni would probably be a great showrunner for
Anything.
show.
If Dave Filoni could film himself and then just run every streaming service's original content, everything would be great.
And also Star Wars.
Yes, but we can't do that.
So things are going great over there at Paramount Plus, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
You got SpongeBob's doing real well, right? You got Star Trek,
Did that other SpongeBob movie ever come out?
The Sponge on the Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It was a Paramount Plus
Did
exclusive.
anyone watch that? What was
No,
that
it was
movie
on
even about?
Paramount Plus.
Where was that? Was Paramount Plus where the new iCarly thing was going?
Uh huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's already out, and they swear now.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
That's not very Christian.
They're adult and edgy,
iCarly
Patrick.
goes, hey guys, I'm iCarly. Remember me from the childhood show?
No, she's like, I'm effing iCarly.
All right. Any other TV news? Is that it?
Nope, that's it.
Max, did you? I don't remember.
Hmm?
Yeah, what's it? Big Shot's over, so I don't got any news from
Yeah.
Big Shot.
Oh,
I
that's
watched
sad.
it,
Oh, The
but
Flash
it
is happening.
Yeah, what's going on with the Flash? We don't have a whole lot of news today, so we need to fill time.
So,
We got so many reviews though.
yesterday
Yeah,
was the Godspeed episode, Sam.
Oh, great!
You did it again?
He's back.
Is he still just a blobby clone person?
This time they revealed, well, he sends like drones.
Mm-hmm.
They revealed
I thought he was a guy in a white suit.
that there is two groups of Godspeed clones and they're having a war with each other.
It sounds exactly like something the Flash would do in a show.
And,
How long did it last? Like 20 minutes?
What? The
Remember
war?
back when they followed
Yeah.
the comic books?
Yeah,
No.
they don't
That
do
was
that
nice.
now. Also,
Comic books were too good though. So
Caitlin
we had to
spent
wait.
the entire episode giving surgery. Iris was
kidding?
gone, giving surgery. She was doing surgery for
To
the
who?
entire episode. A character who they made up for the show's cousin.
Awesome.
It's really going well over
Got
there.
More French fries.
Next week is the Diggle episode. He's supposed to come back
Great.
from Arrow.
John
You know
Diggle?
Diggle. You've seen
The one
Arrow.
Whose son turned into a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yes. When Flash messed up the timeline.
I know he was on Batwoman a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they
He's
seemed really upset about that, but like in the grand scheme of things, like they would not have even noticed. Like for them, it just would have always been.
Yeah, they didn't know.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be popping up on all the shows.
They should have just not told him.
I think they originally weren't going to. I think he found out somehow. I don't remember how.
No,
No, Flash told him.
do you remember in the Invasion crossover?
Mm-hmm.
He tells everyone he did a flashpoint, and he's like, "Diggle, you got a daughter." Diggle's like, "What?"
Do you think the Flash have a daughter?
Mhm.
Yeah, excess.
They killed her.
She's dead sometimes.
No, but they're gonna bring her back because he's gonna have more kids. He's gonna have kids again.
Yeah.
They just bring back this
Well, wasn't she a kid from the future?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're gonna bring in her and Impulse. Impulse is supposed
She
to show
wasn't
up
a
the week
terrible
after
character.
next.
She was actually pretty good.
No, she was a very confusing and convoluted character that I don't understand. Okay, look. She went back in time to keep Barry from disappearing, right?
Sure.
Sorta.
But if Barry disappears in the future she's from, how does she get born? And when she stops Barry from disappearing, why does that make her disappear? That doesn't make any sense. That's like the opposite of what should have happened.
We're talking about
It was
the
because
CW.
of, it was because of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
We don't know how to end this episode. Make it sad. Kill the character that no one cares
No,
about.
Sam. Here's the writer's room for every CW show. Why is this happening? Crisis. Why did this happen 4 seasons ago? Flashpoint. Okay, that's what's going on in the Flash. I'm really excited for them to ruin Impulse
Yeah, that'll be my favorite part.
and Godspeed at the same time.
I don't know why you're still watching this show. I stopped after season 3.
That's good. That's when you should have stopped.
It's good, Patrick. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so good.
Actually, I mean, season
No,
4
no.
was just stupid. But it
Wait,
wasn't
what
like
was season 4?
that was
That was the
Savitar.
Thinker.
Okay.
Wait, no,
I
Thinker
stopped,
was after.
I
No,
stopped,
Thinker was season 4.
I stopped after
Wait,
the
when was
Thinker.
Savitar?
The year before.
Season 5.
I stopped
And then
after...
6 was Mirror Master.
Okay, I didn't get to Mirror Master. So, I guess I stopped after
Savitar
season
was fine. Thinker was so.
5. No, Savitar was awful. He was so
He
bad.
looked really bad, but in concept he was.
Oh, wait. Savitar? No,
Yeah.
he was 3. It was Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, Thinker.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cicada.
Savitar was the last cool one.
I saw Cicada.
That's 5.
Cicada was not like too.
I don't remember
bad.
anything about him.
That's because he didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. He just killed some
He
of the
just
bad
liked to
guys.
kill metahumans, so every confrontation was just like him walking around the street.
And he was a villain so mysterious, even Batman in the future never solves his secret identity, even though like they just sort of like just kind of figured it out by accident. It's a very good show, you guys. If you learn anything from this podcast, watch The Flash. A very good show.
Renegade needs to be more confusing.
I think it needs to just have
No,
right.
by far my favorite part of this season is when the cast members are just gone for weeks at a time. They're just gone. They're just not there. They're like, oh, literally? You know how their excuse last week for Barry and Iris being gone was they were on vacation?
Mm-hmm.
This week, Iris was sick and laying in bed for the entire show.
Why are they absent so many times this season? Are they filming something else?
I think it's because of quarantine stuff.
Oh, maybe.
And they're also probably sick of doing the show.
And they probably hate themselves for still being there.
I mean, they literally pretty much dead-ended their careers. Like, they can't do anything else.
Yeah, no, Grant Gustin will never ever work again once a sense.
Well, good thing he's got really good stuff on his resume. He's got
Glee.
and The Flash. And The Flash movie he's going to be in.
Hey,
Yeah, he might have a
maybe-
cameo.
Maybe in 20 years, when there's another new Flash live-action show, he'll get to play
He
Jay
can
Garrick.
play Barry's dad.
Exactly, and then the guy who plays Barry's dad can play Barry's granddad.
No, he'll be dead.
Or be dead. The show depends on when the show comes out.
Jay Garrick's supposed to show up at some point this season.
Jay Garrick shows up at
Can
some
you
point.
not eat
every
all my
season.
fries?
How many
Not
times has Jay
Jay
Garrick
Fry.
died? Like 5 or 6?
None.
Yeah? Remember, he's the Flash that died during Infinite Earths. Yeah, remember?
That was Barry from the old show. No, it wasn't Jay Garrick.
Well, he looked like Jay Garrick.
Uh-huh.
And was Jay Garrick. So
Because
it's
they were
Jay
played
Garrick.
by the same guy.
Yeah, that's...
The one guy
yeah.
plays Barry's dad, Jay Garrick, and Barry Allen from the original show.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all very stupid things.
Actors are hard to find.
But Jay Garrick's from a different Earth.
Mm-hmm. So is Flash from that other show. But he's dead now, so he doesn't matter.
Barry was like, hey, you look just like my dad.
Yep.
And he was like, pranked! I'm not your dad.
I'm Jay Garrick. I got my powers from heavy water.
I got my powers from water that is heavier than normal water.
All right, trailer times for movies. The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squid, my favorite movie.
Did you watch this trailer?
Suicide Squad.
No.
Did we watch it?
No, yeah, you did.
It was in the theater.
Oh, then yes.
It was
It
just
was-
another Suicide Squad trailer.
It does look very Suicide Squad.
They're literally all the same
The
trailer.
jokes look
It's
so
like,
dumb.
It's like joke, Margot Robbie, joke.
I hate
Robbie, less clothes.
that it keeps saying from the beautiful mind of James Gunn. It's like, what?
No, and
No one has ever described him that way.
in the trailer, it's like, it shows, it's like James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. From this better, more successful movie from a different studio. How are they even allowed to do that? I've never understood how that works.
What?
Like how they're like
They
the
can
director
put the
of this-
title up there.
But they're like, but they're trying to associate this movie with that movie.
Mhm.
Like that's clearly what their intention.
That's
Right.
fine.
How is that legal?
Because they're like, watch our movie, it's gonna be...
It'll be just like this other movie where we don't own.
Well, because it's not illegal to go, hey, this movie's as good as this movie. So
I guess. I don't know. It
then
just seems
technically,
kinda
if they're just going to go, he
Really,
directed
like,
Guardians of the
watch the
Galaxy.
other
They're
movie.
really just stating a fact because he did do that.
The
And he directed this movie.
weird. It is just where how often they point it out.
Mm-hmm. What do you do? What happened in this trailer?
We got some more exposition
Oh,
about
Bloodsport backstory. That happened.
Who's Bloodsport?
You get to see,
Idris Elba.
you get to
Oh,
see
yeah.
Big Shark Guy, and he's the comedic relief.
Well,
He's
they're
better
all
in the Harley Quinn show.
King Shark.
Mhm.
I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes of that show. I do need to finish. Maybe I'll watch it now that Young Justice.
Eventually,
is
King
over.
Shark shows up, but he's like their tech guy. He's not. He doesn't fight. He's like good at computers.
I know everyone was mad for some reason about Superman being put in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet. That was the one thing Bloodsport did in the comic books.
Yeah.
That was all he did.
Why are people mad
I don't know
about
why
that?
people are mad about that.
Like Batman could do that.
Well, because they're mad because they're not going to show it.
Yeah.
Which obviously, because Henry Cavill is fired and they don't have a Superman right
Why
now.
is he fired?
Because he was asking for too much money and they fired him.
And they hired
And now they're looking for a black guy.
Oh, well, good news is...
Because they're going to do that Flash movie and any recasting they need to do, they'll just say it's because of that.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for Suicide Squad?
Starro is the villain.
We already knew that.
great.
But
Then
he's
that's
there.
it. That's it for Suicide Squad.
All right.
They did show more of the rat dude.
Starro is also like way more powerful than the Suicide Squad should logically be capable of handling.
I think he's not going to be an alien in this one.
He's like a multiversal level threat.
Nah.
Well, the Justice
At least in the
League
comics he was.
Sometimes.
This is why they're bringing in the
Sometimes
Suicide
he's just
Squad.
a big.
Sometimes he's also just a big.
Well, sometimes he's a big overarching villain for multiple characters, and then sometimes the Justice League beats him like in like 3 pages of a comic book.
Yeah, it just depends. Alrighty.
Sometimes Vandal Savage just kind of kills him on his own.
Oh, we're gonna talk about F9.
Later, Max. Shut.
First, we gotta talk about Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings.
Woo! Shang-Chi does got those rings.
So we got a new trailer, and now we know that
It looks cool.
yeah, it should be called the 10 bracelets, not the 10 rings. 'Cause they're changing the rings.
But they are ring shaped.
So is every circle.
Ring-shaped bracelets.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they did that so that like you could distinguish them from Infinity Stones.
Well, you don't want to do like the MacGuffins of the last 20 movies. Was a glove with rocks in it, and now this MacGuffin is a bunch
Just
of rings.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have all different powers from the.
I don't know.
rings, too.
From the movie trailer, they look like they're like totally different than
Yeah.
like they weren't. Like in the comics, the rings like each one controls a different element.
They just do everything.
Yeah. And in this one, it looks like they just sort of like do extendo punch.
Well, in the comics, they
Shoot
do
lasers.
like mind control, illusion casting, teleportation.
You can control
Time
fire,
manipulation.
water. You can do all the things.
Yeah,
It's like
you
a
can do
diet.
everything.
It's like a diet Infinity Gauntlet. It's like
Uh-huh.
the Infinity Gauntlet light.
And I think these ones will just be allowed to
So
have.
that a normal guy can do it.
They'll punch
Yeah.
really hard.
Anyone can use it. Now it's just when you punch, they shoot up and like they punch farther for you.
I think they're still gonna do different stuff.
But it
at
looks
this
like they
point.
can also control water, maybe or something. I don't know. We'll see.
And the big thing
There's
that
also a
everyone was
water
trying.
dragon in the trailer.
Oh yeah, there was a dragon in there. And if it's not Fing Fan Foom, we riot.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that.
It should be Fing Fan Foom.
I don't think that's gonna be the name.
What was
That's
that
the guy!
little character on the Lego set?
Oh, he still hasn't been in any of the trailers. Morris.
Morris.
Still haven't seen. No word from Morris.
Sam, we need Fing Fang Foom in the movie.
I don't think we're gonna have a thing.
He's a big
That's a
dragon.
really racist name.
That's probably why they won't call it that.
Well, the Mandarin's dad's name was much worse. Not Mandarin, Shang-Chi's dad's name.
What was his name? Wasn't it like legit like Ching Chong or something?
Fu Manchu.
Yeah, that.
That's why it's the Mandarin now. Sam.
They're trying
Were
to
you excited?
unracist-ify a racist movie.
I
Well-
don't even know why they tried to make a movie out of this character. Like,
Because he's the only Chinese superhero Marvel has.
sure, isn't Psylocke? Isn't she Asian?
They didn't own her when they were doing this.
What's Doctor Strange's sidekick?
Wong?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in this. He's in the trailer.
Well, we don't know if it's him. or
No,
it's just
they
some
said
guy.
it's him.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, Wong is in the trailer.
They said it was Wong and Abomination fighting in the
Yeah,
cage.
Wong is fighting Abomination in the trailer. I
Good.
made a TikTok about it. Anyways,
So we do know that fighting tournament is now happening.
the what tournament?
All the leaks were that the plot was going to be they have to go to a fighting tournament. That's what it's going to be.
So it's the tournament arc. Episode.
So it's Mortal Kombat.
the tournament arc episode.
Uh-huh.
Every good anime's got a tournament arc. This is the tournament arc episode.
Snake Eyes is going to go fight in a tournament. Mortal Kombat's going to go fight in a tournament.
I can't wait for
And
the.
Shang-Chi is going to go fight in a tournament.
I can't
all
wait for
in the
movie,
same year.
Tournament of
Are
Champions.
we not talking about the Snake Eyes trailer?
Although technically,
We talked about that last week.
Oh.
although technically,
Was I here?
Yep.
Mortal Kombat, the tournament didn't happen in that movie. So
Yeah, technically they were just fighting before the tournament happened, and then they canceled it. So.
You ever see Beyblade has a good tournament every season?
Well,
like every other episode.
no, the third season was the tournament arc. And then the second season of the reboot was a tournament arc. And then the first season of the third reboot was a tournament arc. But that's it. No other tournaments in Beyblade. Beyblade, you kind of have to only do tournaments because it's like, what else do you
Battles. The whole concept
What do
of
you
the
do? What do you do?
toys battle.
Anyway, Clifford the Big
trailer.
Red Dog.
You guys love Clifford?
Mm-hmm. Patrick, did you see the Clifford the Big Red Dog trailer?
Sadly.
Came out yesterday. They nerfed Clifford so hard. He got so nerfed in this movie. Clifford was as tall as an apartment complex in the original cartoon. Now he's like maybe 9 feet tall.
This was our childhood.
I want Godzilla-sized Clifford.
Sam.
Now it's just Clifford the slightly big red dog.
Now he's just Clifford the abnormally large dog.
He's gotta fit in the camera lens.
No. They fit him in the camera lens in the cartoon.
Just zoom out.
The cartoon had it figured out.
Well, the cartoon had animated characters, and the people could be
Clifford's
unrealistic.
animated in this movie too. He's just
But the
furrier.
people aren't animated.
Well, then just make the whole thing. Why not just make a CGI animated movie?
Do you really care? It's Clifford
It
the Big
needs to
Red
be
Dog.
bigger.
It needs to be accurate to my memory.
Accurate.
Also, it's fairly obvious that Clifford grows up in a night. They make him big overnight.
Well, that was in the.
No,
Yeah.
he grew over time.
Yeah, but he grew like very rapidly over the course of like. a few
Well,
years.
the reason is the same. I'm glad they kept that.
Yeah.
Growth hormones.
Although they're way over explaining it. In the original book and in the cartoon, like they literally do not. They're just like, oh, he's just. She loved him so much now he's huge.
Well, this one it's
That's it.
in this one it's she bought him from a magic van,
Yeah.
and
So
also she did
Patrick, did you watch Gumball? Did you ever watch Gumball?
that. Amazing World of Gumball.
Well, in that show, there's this magic van where like people will buy random objects from the van throughout the course
It's
of
like
the
a
show,
parody of the Gremlins store.
and it causes various issues. The dad from this Clifford movie, like that's like the same van. He bought it from the same van.
Yes. What do you think the very boring plot of this movie will be?
Clifford is a big red dog, and he's pretty big, and so that's going to cause some
No,
shenanigans.
something is gonna run away, and then they'll have to find it.
Maybe Clifford runs away.
No, Clifford won't run away.
How do you
Too big
lose a
to run
Clifford?
Okay, whatever the plot is, it has to keep
Here, watch
Clifford
the trailer.
off screen for as much time as possible. Because he's clearly the most expensive part of the movie. They've got to Scooby-Doo it, where Scooby-Doo's only in like 3 scenes of the live-action Scooby-Doo movies.
Who's making this Paramount? Yeah, they didn't
Oh my
have the
God.
money for that.
Yeah, so he's only going to be in
Oh
like
wait,
maybe
no.
5 or 6 scenes.
So you have to find out which of these actors is playing the villain.
Who's the
Keenan
cast?
Thompson will
Keenan's
be playing
in
the
it.
villain.
Wait.
He's playing the vet.
Rosie Perez, John Cleese.
Keenan is going to be like, oh,
Who
dang,
did they
that
kill
dog's
to make
big.
John Cleese do this?
Let's see, we got...
They didn't, they just-
Oh, it's gonna be Tony Hale. It's gonna be Tony Hale.
They got all the funny peoples in it.
Like 4. They
Al
got.
Pacino's in this movie?
No, he
that's
isn't.
not.
I love when they
That's
just
Al Pugliese.
I love when they just make the SNL cast the cast of the movie.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Oh, the mom from Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Oh, wait, no, this is a different Clifford movie. I want the new one. Let's see. The cast. Okay. Oh, wait, who's this? I don't know who that is. Guys, Isaac Wang is definitely going to be the villain. That small
Play the
child.
trailer.
Oh, Patrick.
I want to see it again.
Oh, yeah, Tony Hale's definitely going to be the
I'm telling you, it's gonna be Tony Hale.
Yeah.
He's gonna want Clifford to do experiments on or something.
No.
Oh no, he's gonna be a rich guy who wants to put him in his collection of animals.
No, he'll just. They're
they
gonna
already
be
did
even
that in
lazier.
Up.
No, they're gonna be even lazier. Clifford is gonna like.
He's not big enough.
No. Listen.
That's way too short.
Clifford is gonna like pee on some person's lawn, and then some lady's gonna call animal control.
Oh, and
And he's gonna be an
control?
animal control guy,
Oh.
and he'll just be chasing Clifford around the city for the entire movie. That's the plot.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Comes out September 17th. Are we gonna see this?
Yes.
Yeah, we have
Oh, you won't be here.
I'll,
You'll have to go see it
I'm
on your
gonna-
own. You'll have to go into the theater by yourself. One for Clifford, please.
Our college has this thing where you can like request movies to be streamed, like ones that are coming out.
You're gonna request Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah.
That would be actually funny.
Please record a video of
Look at the
yourself
poster.
asking to watch Clifford the Big Red Dog by yourself.
Oh, they're in New York. I thought they were in like San Francisco.
Of course they're in New York.
Wasn't the original cartoon in San Francisco? Like,
Who cares?
why would you bother changing that?
Because New York is New York. That's where all the kids' movies were set 50 years ago.
All right, are we done with Clifford the Big Red Dog? I think we.
Oh, wait. No, it says that the villain's gonna be an evil genetics company.
So they're doing experiments.
So
on
they're
Clifford.
That's pretty dark.
So it's Ninja Turtles with Clifford instead of Ninja Turtles.
It's been in development since May 2012.
That's a long time for Clifford.
Illumination was supposed to do it a
that
long
makes
time ago.
a lot more
That would have
sense.
been a lot better.
No, it would not have.
It would have been just like all the other Illumination adaptations.
Yes, where they do absolutely no effort.
Right.
It's gonna
It's the only
streamline.
way.
Kept getting pushed
All right,
back a
now
million
let's
times.
do some more. Rachel Zelger is cast as Snow White in the live-action Snow White adaptation. Patrick, do you recall perhaps the reason for Snow White's name? Allow me to remind you. So, her name was Snow White because her skin was white as snow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do a little Tucker, do a little googly schmoogly
Boop,
over
boop,
there.
boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop.
She's fair-skinned for being African American.
But that's not the same thing. You could have recast any character in that movie, and you recast the one whose name is literally her skin color.
I don't care. enough.
Why even make this one? Just
Honestly,
don't do this one.
Stop making these.
This might be the one to skip, if I'm gonna be honest.
Well, this is
I
the
mean, I
one.
already skipped Mulan.
Well, this movie was made like 100 years ago.
Yeah, literally. It was the first
Obviously,
animated movie
it's
Disney
not
ever made.
it's not the most updated one from a
was
script
made
standpoint.
in a little bit of a different time. They might have to tweak some stuff in this one.
Yeah.
Are they gonna? You think they're gonna hire? Do you think they're gonna CGI a bunch of celebrities to be all the dwarves, or do you think they're gonna be just gonna?
They're going
cast
to do it
them
Clone
midgets?
Wars style, and Peter Dinklage is going to be every single
Oh,
dwarf.
no.
That'd be pretty dope.
That would be so funny, actually. If
I'd watch it
they
if Peter
really did
Dinklage was
that.
every single.
That would actually be funny. No, but he's going to be at least one. He'll be
He-
grumpy.
Yeah.
He'll be grumpy.
There's only so many.
There's only 7.
There's only so many short people in Hollywood.
There's Peter Dinklage and
Warwick Davis, but he's like
those-
90.
Yeah, those two. That's,
Basically, just Peter Dinklage.
yeah,
Um,
at this point, yeah.
That'd be
Patrick,
funny.
we got some pretty epic Transformers news. I know you're a big Transformers fan.
If it's not Michael Bay, I don't care.
Well, good. It's not Michael Bay.
Then I don't care.
No, Michael Bay.
The next they revealed the title of the next Transformers film:
What's it called?
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Which is
Beast Wars, baby.
Beast Wars, which was the first. Was it the first ever CGI animated cartoon?
No, but it was.
What was the
It was like
Oh wait, yeah.
one of the first ones.
Yeah. Anyways, it's Transformers, but they turn into animals.
So the summary they gave is that it'll introduce. When it's set in 1994,
Of course, nostalgia.
it's a direct sequel to Bumblebee, which makes sense.
Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to introduce the Predacons, the Maximals, and a new type of Transformer they've made up just for the movie called the Terrorcons.
Terrorcons?
Mm-hmm.
Are they like terrorists, Decepticons? That's what it sounds like to me. They just transform
So,
into C4 and blow
The
themselves
summary
up.
they gave is that
they just transform into different kinds of bombs.
the summary they gave is that during the 1990s, the Maximals, Predacons, and Terrorcons joined the existing battle on Earth between Autobots and Decepticons.
They kill themselves every time they transform.
That would be like, they're just the dumbest versions. of
They're like bumblebees, where like once you use your stinger, you're dead.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
No, Johnny! To do it!
It's written by a guy named Joby Harold.
Joby Harold, that's a real name.
Like a Joby tripod.
He's written King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword,
That was a good one. Everyone saw that.
Army
one,
of the
course.
Dead.
we're in
Obi-Wan
trouble.
Kenobi TV show.
He's working on that Obi Kenobi TV show,
Obi Kenobi.
Now I'm concerned for the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show.
and he's making this one.
Man, I like
I mean,
John Wick
the
Chapter 3.
problem with
He was a
Army of
producer
the Dead
now.
was not its writing; it was its premise. So I mean, there's hope, I guess.
So the other stuff about this movie, so Optimus Prime is going to be voiced by Peter Cullen. He's back. Bumblebee, Mirage, and RC are the confirmed Autobots. And he also said that Ron Perlman will voice Optimus Primal, who is the Maximals version of Optimus Prime, but instead of he transforms into a truck,
Optimus Primal.
he transforms into a big monkey.
Optimus Primal who turns into a monkey.
Big gorilla. He turns into a big gorilla.
That cannot be real.
That's no. How would that be a joke? That's a real character.
No, that's not real.
Wait, how does he
This is the
transform into a
stupidest thing I've
monkey?
ever seen. Oh my gosh, his design is awful. What is this?
I'm telling you.
Oh,
It's
God.
just it's like a hairy Optimus Prime. What is this? This
So
looks like a Fortnite skin.
obviously Beast Wars was real popular in the 90s. I don't really know anything about Beast Wars.
It was
We didn't watch
responsible. Without Beast Wars, Transformers would not be around today.
it. Yeah, that was what
It
saved
was
it.
responsible for bringing them back from the brink of bankruptcy.
I know
Are
this.
these comics original?
This was a show. Well, there's comics also.
Okay, so it was a toy in Japan,
Well,
and
no,
then it
no,
was
no,
okay.
no. It was.
It was a type of toy in Japan
It
that then
was-
the Americans stole.
It was a spin-off of this. Okay, so there was this manga called Macross that got turned into a cartoon called Robotech in America, but it was called Macross also in Japan.
Oh, yeah, I remember
About
that.
these guys who were fighting aliens, and they had planes that would transform into robots.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy who was on vacation in Japan was like, "Hey, that would be cool." So he went to America and was like, "Guys, I got this cool idea for you. Let's make some robots that turn into things." And then they were like, "That's a great idea. How do we sell these?" And he's like, "I don't know, make comics or something."
No, that's not what happened.
And anyway, long story short, they ended up making a bunch of them, and then they actually
That is false. What Sam's saying is a
that is
lie.
pretty much exactly what
That
happened.
is not what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
So the guys went to Japan. This toy company had been making various transforming robot toys for like 40 years. He just took a bunch of them and went, "You could probably do some with these," and went back. And
Yes.
he
Well, a lot
went
of
to
those-
Marvel Comics and he put all of them on his desk and went, "Come up with names and backstories for these by Monday." And then he left. And then the guy came up with all these things. That's why some of the first Transformers are like guns and tape recorders.
Yeah, like
Because they were just transformed into
Megatron, even in
various
the
things.
cartoon, Megatron originally just transformed into a straight up gun.
Just like a
And
normal
one of the
handgun.
other ones would just use him as a gun.
That's pretty funny.
Even though he had a cannon on his arm that was bigger than the gun he turned into.
And then so what happened was they did a cartoon. It was a big hit. And then that was starting to decline in
Like
popularity.
actually, in the Japanese toy line, Megatron, number one, he wasn't called Megatron, but he was also like the hero of like their franchise.
Yeah. The other thing was that, so they did their animated movie that was like a theatrical release.
Yeah.
And in that one, they killed like all of the main Transformers and introduced a bunch of new ones.
This was after the first season of the.
This was after the show had been airing for like
for a
5
couple
years at this point.
seasons.
And
Came out
then
with this movie, killed Optimus Prime and all the other main characters.
yeah, and then so
And
the
this- And then they were like, guys, look, new ones. Look, it's Ultra Magnus. He's Optimus Prime, but he's got rabbit ears for
so
some
it
reason.
massively declined in popularity.
And just basically went gone.
And
gone
so
for
the
5
cartoon
years.
was canceled, and then they did Beast Wars, which was one 3D computer animated and introduced Transformers that transformed into animals.
Do not watch it now. It looks awful. But back then it was cool.
Mhm.
Anyways, Patrick, thoughts?
So the story of Beast Wars is that the Maximals, who are a different species of the Transformers, they came to, you know how the Transformers crashed on Earth like a
Uh-huh.
million bajillion years ago,
Uh-huh.
and they were just like sitting in a mountain
Like
forever.
the Beyblades.
Yeah, like Beyblades. Except for
Everything's just like Beyblades.
No, see, in Transformers universe, Earth was a robot called Primus, who was like the main. He's like God in the Transformers universe, and then there's Unicron, who's like Satan in the Transformers universe, and Unicron turned into the moon of Cybertron. Primus transformed himself into part of Cybertron, put his spark in there, used his Allspark to make all the other Transformers, and then a different part of him went off and transformed and became Earth and made life. And
This
then
hurts my brain.
and then eventually this one bad guy named Megatron was like, "Hey guys, what if we did an evil and started taking over things?" And then all the other robots that were on Cybertron were like, "That's not good." And anyways, most of them died. Some of them refugeed off into space and happened to land on Earth because it had large amounts of what's their juice that they
Energon.
Energon. It had large amounts of Energon on it because it was part of Primus.
Why don't you just call it energy?
Because Energon sounds cooler. And then Megatron was like,
Might as
"Oh,
well
we
call it
should
Enerjuice.
also go there because there's lots of Energon there."
No, they went there because they were like,
And
we
then
gotta
they-
kill the Autobots.
And then they started fighting on Earth also, and that's how the
Energon
Transformers
sounds
happened.
like an energy drink.
It sounds like a
Anyway,
gas station.
whatever. Who cares anymore? So this one's gonna be directed by Stephen Caple Jr.,
We've only been going for like 40 minutes.
who directed Creed 2.
No, we got big reviews.
Yeah, we do got.
Who directed Creed 2, and it's gonna star the main human guys, are Anthony Ramos, who was just in The Heights. He was the main guy in that.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
And Dominique Fishback, who I think is in like a bunch of Netflix.
Know who that
She was in Project Power
What is that?
and Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay, you say so.
And it's supposed to come out, and Transformers: Rise of the Beast is coming out in June 24th, 2022.
Great. Aquaman 2, Knives Out 2, John Wick 4, production started this week.
I'm excited
All on
for
the
Knives
same
Out
day.
too.
Huh?
I'm excited for Knives Out.
And
too.
the other thing
Yeah,
they
me
announced
too.
about Knives Out 2 was
That's
Ethan
all I
Hawke
care about.
is part of the cast.
Who is that?
Yeah,
Ooh,
explain.
what? Huh? Tucker could just say
Is he the
gibberish
detective
and-
guy, or is this
No,
someone
this
else?
is Ethan Hawke.
They can't replace
Don't
the
be
detective
bugging.
You're
guy.
like, this guy, the guy you got the guy.
He was in Training Day.
What is
Dead
that?
Poet Society, The Purge, Sinister,
I've only seen half of one of
Boyhood.
those movies.
Before Sunrise, Magnificent Seven.
Tucker, you think
Still
I watched,
only seen
like-
half of one of those
you think I
movies.
watched,
He's
like,
a fairly
Dead Poets
famous
Society?
guy.
What does he look like?
He was in Valerian in the City of a Thousand
That does
Planets.
not tell me
Nobody
anything.
knows who he is.
It's this guy.
Who's that
I
guy?
don't know who that guy
Why would I be excited
He's in.
that
He's
guy's
a very famous guy.
Okay, if you say so.
Watch that video, top 5 movies with Ethan Hawke.
Okay, whatever. He's in the movie.
Oh, great. Good for him.
Other
I
news.
found
Love to
more
see it.
work.
Other news. You're pulling the cord for his microphone a lot.
Well, it's kind
He's
of
not
plugged in
talking,
over
it's
there,
for-
Shush.
so
Whenever you turn your chair, because it's like
Oh.
around it.
it doesn't. It's just where it
It's
is.
too bad.
Matthew Robinson has been hired to write the Rogue Squadron film.
Yay!
More good news for that movie.
Great.
So
What's he written?
Matthew Robinson is an all-star writer. I'll show you, Patrick. So he wrote the Love and Monsters screenplay, the Dora in the City of the Lost Gold screenplay.
Monster
He
trucks.
came up with the story for Monster Trucks.
Did you see Monster Trucks ever?
No.
So the whole concept was these trucks.
No, I understood the concept. That's why I didn't watch the
Oh,
movie.
wait. Let me guess. Is there a monster?
I've seen Monster Trucks.
Yes,
I've seen it twice.
You know tentacle monsters from Tentacle.
Okay, what? So we got.
Tentacle. They live in the cars and drive the cars.
Are you telling we got Patty Jenkins and the guy who came up with the concept for Monster
So
Trucks?
it's like
Yes.
cars.
Yep.
It's like cars, but
Hey.
the squids come out of the car.
Exactly.
Patrick, he also wrote the screenplay for the movie Jerked.
Is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, well this movie
And-
is about
And he wrote the screenplay for the about to be produced Little Shop of Horrors reboot.
Great.
Awesome.
and the 2020 Golden Globes.
Great.
Mhm.
What else we got?
Yay.
Netflix announces debut of My Little Pony: A New Generation, a new film debuting on the service September 24th. Is this part of their one movie a week thing that they've been doing?
This movie was gonna be a theatrical release.
They got too much money over it now.
And
How?
Paramount sold it to them
How
For
are they
free?
because they needed
I'm
money.
assuming it was free.
They
I'm
just
assuming
gave it away.
Paramount-
Yeah, they're just like, you can have this.
No, Paramount should have just taken it so Paramount Plus could
Uh,
have content.
I'll give you a synopsis of the film.
Awesome.
Set years after the events of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, the film will center on Sunny Star Scout, an outcast and young activist Earth Pony who still sees hope in Equestria, where Twilight Sparkle's teachings on friendship and harmony have been replaced with paranoia and mistrust, and where all three species of ponies live segregated from one another. However, when she meets a lost unicorn named Izzy, the two embark on an adventure involving musical numbers, a jewel heist, conspiracy theories, and the world's cutest flying Pomeranian.
Okay,
Pomeranian,
hang on.
as they
Hang
travel
on.
to new lands while facing their fears and turning enemies into friends.
Are you
Is
telling
there
me
pony racism?
that in the aftermath of the show with the subtitle "Friendship is Magical," there is a race war that results
This
in
could
the
be a joke.
segregation
Someone
of
could have-
all of the pony species, and then one like
Hang on. This could be just
One-
some guy doing an epic prank on the Wikipedia article.
So
I'll check the Variety
are
article.
you telling me the main character of?
Okay, no, that was a lie. Well, sort of. Actually, no, it was right. Yep. The unimaginable has happened. Equestria has lost its magic. Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi are no longer friends and now live separated by species.
So
they are all
They're
racist.
all the
So
same
you're
thing.
telling me the main character is Pony Martin Luther King? That's the story.
Voiced by Vanessa Hudgens.
It makes sense to me. I'm understanding this one.
It's got an all-star cast.
Is this like canon? Like this is actually how the show ends?
Liza Koshy
Yes.
is in this.
What?
Yeah, okay, dude, we got an all-star cast. We got Vanessa Hudgens, James Marsden, Liza Koshy,
Sophia Carson from
Ken Jeong.
Disney Channel.
Michael McKean, Phil Lamar.
So basically, Pony Martin Luther King Jr. meets Pony Rosa Parks, and then they
Fix
are
racism in the pony
fix-
world.
Fix Pony Unicorn Pegasus racism in their happy friendship world.
This looks great.
This is something a kid would want to play with their pony toys.
Mom,
Get the
why are all the ponies segregated
the
by
new-
race?
Well, you see,
Get the
the
new pony
ponies don't
racism
like
set.
the unicorns because they're different.
So the Hasbro racism pony set is going to be a great hit.
I can't wait for the Berlin Wall set that divides their communities.
Wait, what? Okay, so Hasbro and Netflix are also working on a 44-minute special and a computer animated TV show that will tie into the service that'll tie in with the movie universe after the film is released, and it'll focus on the characters from the movie.
Remember that time when Pinkie
So
Pie
they-
committed race crimes?
So really,
That was my favorite
really,
episode.
Sam, this is really just a pilot for the next My Little Pony cartoon.
Remember when the Rainbow one, Rainbow Dash was like, "Hey, I hate you because of your skin color." That was my favorite episode of My Little Pony.
We're friends. but
This
not
looks
you.
awesome.
Not
Because
with
of your
you.
race.
You're different.
I love this.
This is discrimination.
Oh, this can only be bad. There's no being good. This can only be
Oh
bad.
no, the white ponies.
Set
are
to premiere-
the black ponies.
It's
This isn't similar.
set to premiere on September 24th on Netflix.
We'll be there for it.
I won't.
Guys, we can test out SharePlay.
We don't have
We don't
Netflix.
have Netflix.
Is that their version of screen sharing?
No, it's Apple's new thing.
The company.
Yeah, Apple made a thing where if you're on FaceTime, you can all watch a thing at the same time.
So
And
they
it'll,
just
like,
did a
sync it.
Discord.
You can do that.
No.
on
No,
Discord.
but this
On
way it's
Discord, you
syncing
can
good.
only stream it. Like everyone can pause and play and skip and everything.
It gives everyone the media controls.
That's great. All right, business section. F9, Sam's favorite movie of the
we
year.
talk about. Oh wait, you already talked about that. Never mind.
F9 opened to a $70 million opening weekend, the biggest opening since The Rise of
We were part
Skywalker.
of that. We were part
We
of
were
that.
there.
It did very well.
Everyone in the theater was like basically laughing the whole. Like they were taking it as seriously as we were.
No,
We'll get to it. We're not
Do
okay.
you hear those people behind us who are crying?
There were people
Seriously?
crying.
Okay, guys, we'll get to all of our epic. I'm just telling you, it did real well. It's made, I think, like $300 million worldwide. It will not make its budget back, but pandemic. So
Dude, it looks
it's still.
expensive.
I think it's like 60% of the box office is from China
That's a lot.
because they love Fast and Furious over there.
The first I've heard of it.
And also like 40% of like 30% of the audience is Hispanic because these movies are very popular.
What was that movie's budget?
F9, I think it was like $200 million. F9.
It's really not like a crazy amount.
Oh, 200. 200 million plus dollars.
Wait, so how much
Plus marketing. Well, plus 2 marketing campaigns that they had to do because they delayed it a year.
Yeah.
And other news. Our last piece of news.
Harrison Ford injured shoulder while training for action sequence in Indiana Jones 5.
Wait, the 8-year-old
Delayed
man?
filming for indefinite. I swear, if this movie kills Harrison Ford, we're gonna have a problem. You know how many plane crashes that man has survived? Like a lot, and most of them he caused.
Today, after Harrison Ford survived a plane crash
So,
when he got home,
this is not the
he
first
died
time.
tripping on a rock.
This is not the first time an elderly Harrison Ford has injured himself while filming one of
He
these.
did. He injured himself on Star Wars.
I'm pretty sure he's
injured.
injured
And he
himself.
injured himself on the last Indiana Jones.
Yeah, ever since Indiana Jones 4, I think he's injured himself making every
No,
movie he's
I just find this funny because he wasn't even filming it. He was training for the scene and he hurt himself. Because he's 90!
Stop that. Just,
He's an elderly man!
just
How old
stop
is he
it.
actually?
Oh,
Late 70s.
our kitchen, man. Oh.
What action sequence would he even be a part of?
Oh, he was doing like a punchy punch. He's 78.
He's an 80-year-old man.
Do they really need to
He's
fight
been
him?
divorced 4 times.
Wait, is he older than Joe Biden?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
No, like why? This poor man. His stunt double retired like 20 years ago. Oh my gosh.
They're gonna have to find a new stunt.
I just find it. They've
78-year-old
been filming
man.
this for like 2 weeks, and Harrison Ford already hurt himself. They already have to delay film.
Next, he's gonna get code and die.
I hope not.
No.
What are they gonna do?
He'll get like
He's so old. He's so old.
I don't know why you would even have, like, you would have to just write your way around fight scenes in that, like,
Yeah.
for him at least. Like, have
Give him a
Shia LaBeouf fight
young,
you.
give him a young pal who
They're
can
gonna
do
give
all
him
of the
a
punches
yeah,
a
for
young
him.
pal.
Do like you did with Indiana Jones 4, but except with not Shia LaBeouf this time.
They should have just made a movie about him mentoring like his son or something.
They did. That was Indiana Jones
That
4.
was Indiana Jones 4.
do it again.
It already happened. It
But
was not a good
his
movie.
son is not gonna be back in this one.
That's dumb.
Anyways.
Right, movie time. Movie review time. F9, the Fast Saga.
It is not. We're not reviewing the whole Fast Saga. That is just the,
The
subtitle
title
of
of
the
the
ninth
film.
movie.
Same.
Fast.
Okay, so just a bit of context for our experience with this glorious franchise.
We have seen none of them. Well, no, we saw one of them.
Sam
but
has
as a
seen
spin-off.
F9 and Hobbs and Shaw. Patrick has seen F9. I have seen Hobbs and Shaw F9, the first 10 minutes of the first one,
And seen
and a
that.
recap video of all of them. So I'm basically an expert. I was the only one who knew who any of the people were.
Yeah.
Tucker was just like explaining it as the movie was happening.
Yeah, and I was just sort of like, I could assume what their like roles were.
Okay, so
The opening was confusing.
Well, how did it start?
the race in the
The
80s.
race where the dad
Right.
dies.
So their dad, who's the main?
Oh, okay, hang on.
Their dad
First
burst out
off-
the flames.
Before, because we're gonna just talk about spoilers the entire time. Sam, see this movie or don't see this movie.
I don't know. I mean, it's fine.
It's the
fun.
only movie out, so just
I'd say
see it.
if you like the Fast and Furious movies, go see it. If you're not a fan of the Fast and Furious movies, you don't care. So why would you see it?
Patrick, same for you.
No, I mean it's the only thing out right now, so just go see it if you got nothing to do, because it's not like unwatchable.
It's like Godzilla versus Kong, where it's like it's not smart. It's like just dumb. It's
I'd
just
say,
fun.
well,
You
okay,
and
I'd say
your
it's worse.
teenage
But
friends want to go watch a movie. There's only one out, so it's the only one you can watch. So basically, just go watch it.
I'd say there are worse things to watch in the theater right now.
Yeah.
So
If you've already seen
If
the
you're
good
just-
things,
if you're killing
this
time
one's fine.
till Black Widow comes out, you could do worse things with
It's
your
only,
life.
it's only like 2.5 hours long.
It's oh my god, it's
It was
so long.
So
All right,
let's-
so we're gonna get into spoilers now.
So yeah, we
We're just
start
gonna
off
do
with
a whole-
flashback where Vin Diesel and
Young
and
John Cena.
Cena's dad dies in a car crash
In a
in
NASCAR
a
race.
NASCAR race, and then we
And
flash.
they're poor.
Which no, the crash he dies in is like that kills him. But every other character for the rest of the movie have been in like go into like way worse car accidents
Yeah,
and
they're
don't even
fine.
get a scratch on them.
Okay, I'm just gonna like tell this movie in the order that
Okay,
everything happened
why do you
instead of
have to
the
do
order
this
it
every
happened in the
time?
movie, because otherwise it gets too confusing.
You don't need to recap
Basic-
the entire thing.
Yeah, I do.
Tucker, shut
And
up.
then it's revealed that John Cena killed the dad because the dad was in
Asked
debt
him
to the
to do
mob,
But
and then
John
told
Cena
John
didn't
Cena to kill him so that he could pay off the mob, but then told John Cena not to tell the other
Vin
Balls
Diesel.
guy, Vin Diesel, so that because
And you can tell they're
For
brothers
some
because
reason.
they have the same spray tan.
exactly.
No, and then there was this scene where Vin Diesel and John Cena do a drag race, and he's like, "If I when you get out of town and never
Yeah.
come back."
And then
And
of
then he
course Vin
wins.
Diesel wins.
Oh, that
And then
that
the
was
other
very
kid- the
old
other
school
kid is,
Fast and
like,
Furious.
crying.
And then his brother is like all sad because he's like, I did it for the family.
All right.
They'll never know.
Can we talk
And he
about
goes
that
away,
real quick?
And he becomes an international spy, I guess, over the course of the last 8 movies, off screen, and we never have heard of
Okay,
him.
hang on. Let's stop there for a second. So the dad wants to die because he needs to throw the race to get out of debt. Why did he not just tell his son, hey, like, disconnect the engine so it makes my car not work?
Or just like step on the brakes before you cross the
Just-
finish line.
Oh no, my car stopped!
Oh no, my car stalled. Oopie doopie. Instead of I need to set myself
Also,
on fire.
if you need to get out of debt, why would you go, well, I guess I'll die?
Guess I'll kill myself.
What he
I
wanted
owe
to do.
$30 to John.
No, guy. He wanted to get injured so he could get insurance money.
That's still stupid.
What if
That's
the
still
kids-
dumb. That makes no
The
sense.
debt would just transfer over to the kids.
Okay, why did they not just, like, pop his tire so that he just kind of, like, slammed into a wall and broke his arm and then he could have got
the
insurance?
car was gonna explode. Remember?
Because he's an idiot.
And then there's that one in the like the
No, and I like how it's like his like dying wish to his son is like, don't tell your brother. I want him to hate you.
yeah. Like, what is this like Naruto logic? Like what? And then
I want him to
so
hate
then-
you for the rest
So
of his
then John
life.
Cena goes off and becomes an international spy off screen for the last 8 movies, and
And
we don't
Vin
hear from him
Diesel
until this
becomes a
Vin Diesel becomes an
amateur
thief
DVD thief / car mechanic
slash also an international
who
spy but later on.
eventually just also conveniently gets rolled into international super spyism.
So we fast forward 8 movies. And they're stealing this one half of a device that allows you to access all of the nukes.
Okay, just so you know,
All of technology.
I like how they just didn't care. Like this was the most just like
Yeah,
lazy
it's just a
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin. They're after half of the MacGuffin, but
No.
then John Cena rolls up in his cool car.
Uh-huh.
Was it a 1970? What was the car that they said was immortal?
I don't know.
He goes up in his 1970s Dodge Charger. I don't even know if that's what it was. Steals the half of the MacGuffin and gets away by jumping off a cliff, and a plane with a magnet comes and scoops him up. And then Vin Diesel's like, I guess I gotta jump off the cliff too, or I'm not gonna be as cool. But my wife is also here, and so he drives off a cliff, but then like grapple hooks onto this part of a bridge that broke a minute ago, and like swings around the cliff,
Yeah.
and then lands on it.
He lands on the other side. There's a worse flip than would happen to his dad,
And
and,
he's
they're
like
both
perfectly
fine.
fine.
The other side of the bridge.
Nobody gets shot. They're being.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
The
but, okay,
entire
before
opening
that
action
happens-
sequence, they're all getting direct machine guns at them.
So they're trespassing. Was it like Myanmar or something?
Yeah.
They're trespassing in some foreign country, and the entire foreign military comes after these like 3 dudes, and they're literally all shooting at him, and the dude is just running out in the open, and
none of them
nothing happens.
No, he
no, he takes his
later
vest
on-
off, and you can see all the bullet holes. And I'm like,
all on the vest.
that's not how that
Well,
works.
and then later on, he's like standing in a circle. He's like literally surrounded. Like there's probably like 40 or 30 dudes around him. They're all shooting at him still, and he kills all of them with a pistol, and he's fine. He doesn't even get grazed.
No, and then in the next scene they make a joke, or we're like immortal or something. We can't die.
Yeah, because then they also drove through like a landmine field. I don't even remember. And then
And no one dies.
and then what happened?
No one dies in this whole movie.
Above
Yeah.
a
No,
landmine.
before they drove through the landmines, they were like, guys, we gotta go extra fast so we don't blow up.
And then the guy's like, my car doesn't actually go that fast.
And then they're like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, my problem with this movie is it does like totally absurd stuff like that.
Like putting a
And you know
Pontiac
what?
Fiero in space.
If that was the whole movie, I'd be fine with it because at least it's committed to being absurd. The problem is that half of the movie is absurd and the other half is Vin Diesel trying to seriously act him at his deep family problems.
Yeah.
And that is so boring, and it doesn't matter, and they focus on that for half of the movie, and that's the part that sucks.
And then what
Vin
happened?
Diesel-
What happened after that? They just sort of go around to random places and talk to people.
They go to China,
Because they're
and
trying to find.
No, they go to Japan.
they go to Japan, and
Because they're looking for the
they're looking for Han, who died in Fast
They're not
and
looking for
Furious.
Han. They're looking for the people that made the magic.
No, they're looking for the key because it's somehow tied to Han, which they
This Han
learned.
was
Yeah, 'cause
like
it's in
the
Ja- yeah.
Japanese Mexican cowboys or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Han was on about it.
Okay,
But,
so
He was on drugs.
no, the
basically-
thing with Han is that He died in Fast and Furious 3,
Like 10 years ago.
which is actually the 7th movie in the timeline. No, actually, it's the 6th movie in the timeline.
Doesn't matter.
At the end of Fast and Furious 6, it's revealed that the guy who killed him is Jason Statham. Although in this movie, it's revealed that he didn't die, and he was a hologram or something when in the car.
It was a special effects thing done by Mr. Nobody, who
who was a character from Fast and Furious
I'm assuming
8.
he's just like Nick Fury.
Pretty much.
But anyways, so they go to Japan because they're looking for the key, which can open this like magic
Turns out it's a girl.
nuke machine, and
she just has to
and
touch
then
it.
so it's
And
genetically
somehow Vin
locked.
Diesel just knew.
It's genetically
Yeah.
locked to the two scientists that made the thing, who are Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
but they had a daughter, which means she has both their DNA, so she can access the magic bomb thing. Then it's revealed that Han is alive, faked his death, so that he could watch after this girl who is the key
We
to
didn't
this
mention
nuke
that
bomb
he
thing,
knew in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
which was never mentioned in any of the movies up until now. And then so he just shows up out of nowhere and is like, "Oh, yeah, hi, I'm here."
Oh, and they make a big mystery out of, like, is he alive or not?
It's like,
He's in the trailer!
Like, we know he's alive.
They put him in the trailer!
So he shows up and he's like, "Hi guys, I'm here, and look, I have the girl that's the key." And then John Cena blows into their secret hideout.
Yep.
I'm skipping a ton, but it doesn't matter.
She just
He
found-
blows into their secret hideout that he just knows where it is because apparently he also used to work. No, he was captured. He was captured and his army dudes come in and blow it up,
Yeah, that's
rescue
right.
him, kidnap the girl, and then they go.
Oh,
to
you
their,
forgot the part where Cardi B shows up.
Cardi B's also there for like 10 seconds.
Cardi B goes.
That's not important at
She's
all.
not in any of the other movies, she's just in this one.
And she behaves exactly like Cardi B. She's not playing a character.
We'll talk about that later, I have an idea
Unrelated.
what that
Anyways, they kidnap the girl. They put her in this big like caterpillar tank thing, and then John Cena has both halves of the nuke machine.
is. Oh no, Sam, you forgot about the part where John
They
Cena...
also launched a satellite.
You forgot about the part where they all escape through that back door, and Vin Diesel decides to hold them off for no reason.
Yeah,
And then
I'm
his
skipping the parts
That
that
is-
literally
no.
don't matter at all.
his wife doesn't leave. She just watches him like fight them, and then Vin Diesel levels an entire concrete structure with his
Onto
raw
himself.
strength and falls into a pit of water like 100 feet
like
below.
freaking Samson in the temple or whatever.
And then his
like,
wife,
kills
who
the
was
guy.
just watching the whole thing when she should have been running away,
then he had
opens
a
the door and
flashback.
goes and saves him.
Then he had a flashback.
Then he had like a
to
15-minute long
when he
flashback.
realized that the dad asked the John Cena
because he put together that his brother did it because of something a dude in a Mexican
Because
jail told him.
two guys in a Mexican jail, who I think are Tango and Rico,
Were
who
they
in the
were
other.
they mechanics or was he still in jail?
They
I
were
wasn't really
characters
sure.
from the earlier movies.
Anyways,
But that was the first time he met
I'm
them in
skipping all that
canon.
because it doesn't matter. Also, they have super strong magnets now. Also, doesn't matter.
They use
Also,
those magnets a
don't know how
lot.
electromagnets work.
Anyways,
Riders.
so John Cena's in this big caterpillar tank thing. The girl's there. He puts the halves of the MacGuffin machine together, puts them in a box, is trying to upload the signal to the satellite that controls all the nukes. And so in order to stop that, two of the side characters, who are friends with some of other side characters from a different movie, strap rocket engines to a Pontiac, launch it into space, blow up the satellite, and then run
No, they
into...
drive through it.
Just happen to run into the International Space Station. And then they just live in there until the movie
No,
ends.
and then the guy in the space station is like, is that a Pontiac Fiero?
Yeah. And then there's a Japanese woman in there who thinks they're minions. Also unrelated. Anyways.
Because they're wearing old yellow Scooby.
Yeah. Anyways. Then they stop John Cena.
He turns good
But
last
then now
minute.
he's a good guy because
Because-
of
oh,
family.
because-
Because Charlie Theron is now working with his millionaire
Yeah. So
friend.
so John Cena has this millionaire friend who thinks
who's
he's
been
Luke
supplying
Skywalker.
his private army and also all of his
He just makes a bunch of
technology.
Star Wars references for no reason.
Yep.
Anyways, so he teams up with the bad guy from Fast and Furious 7,
8.
and then and then she tries to blow up John Cena, and John Cena's like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't be working." For you."
And he helps
He's like,
our
"You
Fast
have
and Furious
betrayed."
crew.
then he joins the family,
And they let him drive off at the end, even though she hadn't betrayed.
and then
him.
he just sort of leaves. And so I guess he's done in the movie.
If his friend didn't, if Charlie Theron didn't betray him, literally he would have just killed him.
Oh, and
And-
you remember their sister shows up, and she's like,
Oh, she's
I
there.
don't want to lose you again.
Yeah, she's also there. I think I vaguely
who
remember. her
character
being there.
they retired in Furious 7 because Paul Walker
The
died.
character that played her husband died. It's not important.
But- Yeah.
Then they ended up having a cookout. That's how the movie ends.
So
Vin
Dad
Diesel
shows
solos.
Oh, and then Paul Walker's
with
car pulls in.
family.
it's getting really uncomfortable.
I'm convinced.
There are excuses for Paul Walker not being there.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, he's at home watching the kids.
Yeah. Oh, also
The
that
kid
Vin
they
Diesel
just
has
straight
a
up-
kid.
At the end, or at the very beginning, they just straight up leave the kid.
Yeah, at the very beginning
No.
of the movie, they just like
And
leave
then,
their kid
an
at
hour
home.
in, they're like, oh yeah, Paul Walker's watching him.
They thought
Yeah.
the terrorists. Were
I
gonna, like, kill the
legit
kid.
think that the writers just forgot that happened until
Yeah.
like maybe 5 or 6 weeks into making the script, and they're like, oh yeah, they have a kid.
They have
I
a
guess.
kid. What do
Which
you?
probably Paul Walker's watching. Sure. He makes sense to me.
Little Brian, I'm gonna go fight terrorists.
Also, I do-
Your uncle, I'm gonna go kill your uncle. Bye bye.
Also, Brian
Also, you
is.
have an uncle, which I don't think you knew.
Sam, what did you think of the excellent script written for this film?
Vin Diesel had
I
killer
really
lines.
love the physics.
I honestly believe Vin Diesel has a chunk of his brain missing. Every time he talks, he's like, like he talks like he's just like missing a piece of his brain. I mean,
This-
it's fine.
This movie feels so
It's like
tired.
it's extremely stupid.
Like,
but it's
it's-
stupid on purpose.
No, it's like the most generic thing they could do.
Yeah.
There's another MacGuffin involving hacking. There's another family drama.
Oh,
There's
they had
another action piece.
They had a tech sidekick girl. I just totally forgot.
Oh, Ramsey?
Yeah, sure. Was that her name?
She was a hacker in Furious 7,
She was there.
I
also.
think.
I think she did something.
Or
with
8.
someone.
She was in one of them.
She drove a car this time, though.
Yeah,
But she
couldn't-
didn't know how, and that was the joke.
Okay, they destroyed like 500 cars and caused
Okay,
like, millions
it's fine.
of
Don't
dollars.
worry
Max,
about it.
that is not the problem with the movie.
They
That is
also committed so many crimes. Against,
Max. That's not the problem. The problem is that it's like everything is so lazy. Like they don't. You can tell none of them. It feels like they're just like buying time until the 11th one.
And John Cena is taking it way too
And
seriously.
John Cena and Vin Diesel are taking it so seriously.
No, Vin Diesel's not taking it seriously. He's just incapable of making emotions. John Cena's taking it seriously. Vin Diesel's just brain dead.
Yeah. Also, I like how you wouldn't know if Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez's character were either siblings or a romantic
Yeah,
couple.
no, legit at the
Yeah.
beginning.
And-
At the
Told
beginning,
you.
I had to ask Tucker. I was like, "Are they siblings or are they married?" Because I couldn't tell. Because she kept every time she was
And there's really nothing that would tell you that
Yeah.
they are for their entire movie.
Because she kept talking to the kid and being like, "Oh, look, there's your dad." Like she never referred to herself as like the
and
mom
then
or anything.
And then she's like, I remember your mother.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, I guess maybe
oh,
it's her
because
sister."
his actual mom is dead.
Yeah, because I think it's dumb.
Charlie
Anyways,
Theron killed her in the 8th one.
it's dumb. Anyways,
Shot her in the head with a gun in front of her baby.
We gotta watch the
That's
whole
nice.
saga now.
Yeah.
No, I feel when 10 comes out, we'll do that.
I'm convinced that in the 10th one they will drive a car into another dimension and try to kill God. I think that'll be the plot.
No, I think that
They shoot
I think the thing
Jesus.
with the 10th one will be one. It'll have the same plot. The villain will want to hack
Time
every
travel.
computer. No,
Oh,
Yes.
no.
No, this verse is just dumb enough
No,
that they'll
okay.
try it.
They've talked about a Fast and Furious Jurassic World crossover.
That what?
Actually, you know what they could do?
So bad.
Actually, wait.
Okay, Tucker.
G.I. Joe is Paramount, right? Yeah, that's Paramount, I'm pretty sure.
That would make more sense than
That would make more sense
than
than
a Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover.
that's another Universal thing.
It's-
Those are the two big brands.
I want to see The Rock riding a dinosaur.
No, they got it because
family.
The Rock doesn't ever want to be on set with Vin Diesel because they
yeah,
hate
'cause
each
they
other.
don't like each other.
So I do want to have at least one
Dude, if I
movie
were The Rock, I'd hate Vin Diesel.
where it's Vin Diesel, The Rock, and John Cena all together. That would sell millions of tickets.
Wait, what? Why does The Rock hate Vin Diesel?
Because Vin Diesel was saying that on set The Rock wasn't as good an actor as him, and that he was trying to get him to be a good actor, and that caused beef. That's not a joke.
The Rock.
Vin
is
Diesel thinks he's a
definitely
better actor than The Rock, which is not true because The Rock is capable of displaying
Of
any
acting.
emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved him in Jumanji.
But no, you know that both The Rock and
They're like the
keep
same.
forgetting his name.
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel. They both have like in their contract that they cannot lose a fight in
No,
the movies.
they.
And no,
Yeah, they're not allowed to use the fight, and every time they. Okay, so
they're so neurotic about keeping these characters like equal.
of keeping
that people-
themselves.
That like they would have their friends and family like be on set to count the amount of punches
No.
they have to make
No,
sure
no,
that they
no.
are the same.
They assigned point values to every kind of hit.
Yeah.
And so if it's the Vin Diesel and John Cena having a fight, they each have to have the same point value at the end of the fight.
That's so dumb.
Is that like way over?
So like 2 punches is like 2 points, right?
Yeah.
And like maybe like slamming them into a wall is like 5.
Yeah.
So if John Cena slams Vin Diesel into a wall, and Vin Diesel's got to punch him 5 times, or he's got to slam him into a wall, or do like 2 kicks.
It's so dumb.
Also, you know what I also think is stupid about
I will say
But now
this
that you
one,
think about it, it holds true.
as stupid as this one was, I still think it was more realistic than Hobbs and Shaw.
No.
I know a lot of people
Yeah.
are saying like those two movies are like these two movies are like the same quality wise. I think Hobbs and Shaw was more fun.
Yeah.
Because I think
There was nothing about that they took seriously.
yeah, it was just
It
absolutely
was just
stupid.
total absurdity.
Also, Vin Diesel wasn't, which made it
better.
Made it watchable.
But
Oh, there was a post-credit scene where Jason
Jason Statham is
beating
there.
up a
He's beating up a guy and Han shows up,
yeah.
which makes me think that Han is going to be in Hobbs and Shaw too, because they're doing that as
Yeah.
well.
Well, because
So
probably
I know they're doing. Hobbs and Shaw are going to assemble their own crew. It's gonna be Hobbs and Shaw and Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds and I guess
Kevin
Han.
Hart.
Because he was in Hobbs and Shaw, remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. For like,
And so was Ryan Reynolds.
well, Ryan Reynolds was just like there.
He was like a CIA guy.
So, taking breaks between running mid-mobile.
This franchise is.
I love.
We gotta talk about more stuff. We got more stuff. We gotta talk about Bad Batch and Loki.
This movie was
Let's start with
stupid.
Loki.
Yeah, let's start with Loki. No, let's start with Bad Batch because Loki was way crazier than Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
Bad
Bad
Batch.
Batch is good too.
This was the one where they're on Fake Cloud City and she's running around being
Yeah,
chased
so
by a
she's
robot.
on like a abandoned Camino.
Because
in
she
Colombia.
got abducted by Cad Bane.
Yeah, so Cad Bane at the end of the last episode kidnapped her. We already talked about that. And so he took her to this abandoned Camino and cloning facility to exchange her to a Camino in for money, as bounties typically go.
Because they wanted to take her DNA and kill her.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Fennec Shan shows up, kills the Caminoan that was there.
Because she got hired by...
A different Caminoan.
No, what was that one?
Lama Su?
Yeah.
Lama Su, something like that. Tong Wei is the one that got killed. That's the one that introduced Obi-Wan to the Kaminoans.
Aww, he's my favorite.
Lama Su has like a thing for
Not murdering people.
little girl. So
And, yeah, so Fennec Shan kills Tong Wei, beats up Cad Bane a little bit. Omega escapes and goes back to her friends.
she's like, "You never want to go back to Camino, promise?"
yeah.
And then they're like, "Yes."
And then Hunter's like, yes, that is the thing
That's
we can do.
my
And then she's
friend.
like, no, you can't, you dumb. You're not strong enough. And he goes, we'll figure it out. And she's like, okay. And yeah. And that's how the episode goes.
It was
It
fun.
was really short. But
I think it was a little bit dumb that, like, Fennec Shan was able to very easily beat up Cad Bane, who, allow me to remind you, dueled Obi-Wan Kenobi, beat Obi-Wan Kenobi, then went on to fight Quinlan Vos to a standstill, all after stealing a holocron from the Jedi Temple.
But then they dumbed him down.
Yeah, and this one he just sort of, like, kind of
He's
punches.
like, "I'm Cad."
Sam, it's
What are you doing?
I
the
know, and
episode has to have a thing
No, and he
happening.
has that sidekick robot who is definitely making him worse.
Yeah, no, if he didn't have the sidekick robot, he'd be more... But that's always been the case. His sidekick robot's always been, like, brain dead.
Yeah,
That
this is-
reminds me of the dude in Attack on Titan, the guy who like raised.
Because the robot literally sets
Oh.
Omega free.
Huh?
The robot sets Omega free.
Yeah, because he's a dum-dum.
Oh, the big reveal in this episode was that Omega was one of 2 clones made directly from Jango.
Boba,
But
Boba and her.
Yeah, which doesn't...
And they've been using her DNA to
doesn't
make all the
sense
clones.
because she is a girl.
They didn't, I'm sure they'll explain that.
They'll explain it.
It's original DNA except
Except the part we modified to make it a totally different DNA.
Yep.
Anyways.
No,
And that's why the Kaminoans want her back. They want her back so they can make
And
more
all they
clones.
do is like, you're more valuable than you realize.
Yeah.
Because they can't make clones unless they got her.
Well, they can, but the genetic sample they have is deteriorating. That's what they said at the
Why
beginning.
don't they just find Baby Yoda?
Why don't they
What?
just give up on
Aren't they
cloning?
gonna use him to clone people? His DNA or something?
Max.
Max, you have no idea what you're talking about. At
No,
all.
in the Mandalorian. They're already-
No,
This
they're
is
gonna
not
use
connected.
no, not related.
Oh,
How would
no,
Baby
I
Yoda
know
DNA make
that.
more
I
clones?
don't know.
What?
This happens way before that.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's not even. Well, he's around, but he's not.
No, because Baby
He's not
Yoda's only
doing anything.
50.
No,
This happens right
he was in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, they confirmed that he was. In
He
the
is alive,
Yeah.
but he's
He's
like
really little.
he's like got
a
the
baby.
mental capacity of a baby.
Is he like, what, they could be like 10, 15, 20?
He's like 10.
Yeah.
Which means he's like...
He's like
he's
No,
he's
he's
like a month old.
No. So the way that the Yoda species ages is really dumb. So like basically they age at a normal rate up until they're like baby state. And then they stay in baby state for 50 years. And then they age normally after that. And then they sort of stop around
That was
like
just the
middle
excuse
age.
where they realized that Yoda was
No,
only
that
800.
it was in the old canon also. It was
Oh,
the same.
okay.
But yeah, it's still like ridiculous. Like what kind of species is this?
I don't know, but yeah, Bad Batch was fun.
It's always fun. It's not the best of the Star Wars shows, but it's a fun show.
It's
Loki
the best Star Wars
time.
It's the best Star Wars show running right now.
That's true. Between it. And
All right, now we got
Nothing
Loki,
else.
Nothing
and
else.
Loki
Oh,
went
wow.
off this week. Loki
What was going on?
Went cuckoo crazy time this week. So I just saw Loki last night at 2 a.m.
I saw it at 4 a.m. I was up till 5.
I saw it today right before I got here.
So
Well, actually, I was still watching it once I arrived.
I was right. The Time Lords are fake. Everything's a lie, and Kang is going to be the bad guy.
He's gonna be wrong about that one.
Yeah, that one probably isn't true, but I hope it's true. Anyways,
No, it's Mephisto.
It's Mephisto.
Mephisto, guys. Mephisto made the TVA.
Oh, watch. One of the villains is gonna be.
Oh
they
my
gotta
god,
be
the girl who was the judge girl is the villain.
Well, she's the villain of this episode. She's not the main villain.
Spoilers.
She's not just
Yeah.
the overarching.
She's the villain puppet.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the.
I honestly don't know because what villain is like? Okay, we know
It's
that
gonna be
TVA
her.
It has to be
No,
the-
she's just the
She's
puppet.
the
What
main
if-
villain for this
What if
show.
she's actually 3 space lizards?
No, but I know she's the main villain for now, but she's not the big bad. I'm saying who's the big
I
bad.
think it's just gonna be her.
She's not powerful enough to stop
No,
Infinity.
No, it's
Stones
gonna be the
from
whole
working.
TVA.
Loki could
The
be-
TVA are just puppets. That's the whole bit.
Everyone in the TVA is just a variant.
They're gonna allude to there being a bigger bad guy, but it's not like Kang is gonna show up and be
Yes,
right
I know,
there.
but I'm saying who is the big bad guy?
Probably Kang.
But like even Kang isn't powerful enough to create and sustain a pocket dimension, eliminate entire
Well, he didn't create
timelines.
the pocket dimension.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That
like,
place existed before the TVA was there.
They just
Either
found
way,
it and
that's
put
like-
it on TV.
It exists
It's
outside of space and time.
And like these guys have been around for basically forever, or like they've been working for the TVA for like thousands.
Oh,
of
they're
years.
the Time Bureau. They're literally just the Time Bureau. from
already
Legends
knew
of
that.
Tomorrow.
We already
They couldn't-
made that
if
joke
they could-
like 5
If they
episodes
could have
ago.
called it the Time Bureau, they would have called it the Time Bureau.
Yeah, we made that joke like 5 episodes ago.
I just think that's funny that DC has their
They're
own
like the
version of
same.
the Time Police who exists outside of space and time in their own city.
Except for in the DC universe, they were not.
And each one of them has a hunter that each one of them has like an agent
No, it
guy
was like
who
a
wants to
space-
do
Yeah,
the
we
thing.
already talked about that.
It was like a space station in DC.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Remember it got blown up?
Yeah,
was it-
Captain Cold blew it up.
I don't remember.
What?
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, so the big things that happened this episode.
Oh, so Loki and the girl.
Loki and
are
girl
falling in
Loki
love,
fell in love.
and then it created a
A Nexus event.
And then other guy was like they scooped him up and then they took him to the jail place.
And then they just kind of interrogate him for a little bit.
If they were about to die.
Because it was like so bizarre. It was like so chaotic that two of the same being fell in love. That it caused a Nexus event. Like that's what happened. That's what caused it.
Okay, but
oh!
whatever it was, it saved them both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's how
god,
they
Owen
found him.
Wilson gets poofed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets zapped.
He gets.
Well, we don't know if he's like actually dead.
He's not.
He'll be
He'll
back.
be back.
He was the best character.
Yeah.
He was-
People
Loki
love
was-
him.
They have
he
to-
needs his jet ski.
They have to pay off the jet. It's what is it? Schrodinger's gun.
Do
Is
you
that the
remember
name of it?
Loki?
Schrodinger's cat?
No,
No, I swear.
It's
The
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun, sorry.
The last scene of this show is going to be Owen Wilson driving away on a jet ski.
Well, because it's Chekhov's gun. He has to get a jet ski at some point.
Yeah.
No, but Loki and him become friends because he's like, but you can trust a friend.
Yeah.
How?
And then like right after that, he's like dead.
He's zapped.
And he's like, Loki,
Oh.
you're not going to be
Okay,
alone
because
forever. And
all
then
of-
dead.
All of the TVA workers, or some of them, start realizing that they were actually
One of them.
Because they killed the other girl that figured out.
Yeah. They killed was it C20?
C20.
Yeah.
And then C15, the female Loki does the enchanting thing, and she realizes she's a variant also.
Who's the crazy lady that's running who's like the judge girl who knows everything but is trying to keep it
I
from
don't
them?
think we know her name.
Saying like they're corrupt.
I don't think they said her name
Yeah.
yet.
She's, I think her number is like something 35. It's like EB 35 or something like that.
Loki.
No, her character does have a name. I just don't remember what it is.
Maybe it's Clarissa.
Ravonna.
Yeah, because what's it? Owen Wilson's character says it. Mobius like calls her by name a couple times.
Marvel.
Yep. Renslayer.
Ravonna.
Ravonna Renslayer.
Yeah, which was the name of, I believe it was the name of Kang's love interest in the comics.
Kang confirmed? So
He's
Kang
already-
and her are lovers.
She appeared in the previous time.
Maybe she's gonna be the bad guy for this one, and then they'll just kind of.
Yep, she was
introduce
of
the
interest for
villain.
Kang the Conqueror.
She's the bad guy in the Loki show, and then Kang is the bad guy for the new Marvel phase.
It's for Ant-Man 3.
No.
Yeah, Renslayer is.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So Sif showed up. She had a fun cameo.
Because Loki, I guess at some point in his life, cut off her hair as a joke and then got kicked in the balls.
And she's like, "You're worthless."
And as part of his interrogation, Loki is like forced to relive that moment over and over again, where he just keeps getting kicked in the balls over and over again.
I'm
And
glad
then
they.
punched, but the punch like looks really fake.
Yeah, because she.
I'm glad they got
She's
Sif
like this.
back.
Yeah.
I'm glad her final appearance in this universe wasn't on Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
I'm Lady Sif from Asgard.
She wasn't in Thor 3 because she wanted too much money.
She's a good character.
She's the only female Asgardian, other than
Besides the mom.
other than Sylvie and.
There are other ones.
Well, yeah, but the only
on
that
that
does
group.
anything. Like the only one that does anything.
In the whatever the Warriors 3.
No, the Warriors 3 are 3.
Loki,
dudes.
I think Loki's gonna come out of this and he's gonna be a good.
Oh right, it was Lady Sif in the Warriors 3. That was
Yeah.
their. Yeah, she's one of them.
No, and remember they had those Asgardian female warriors. That one girl.
The
in Thor.
Valkyries?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They were all dead
Valkyries.
before the Thor
But
movies.
then there's that one other
Except
one.
There's
one.
one
But
left.
she's like living and drunk and alone.
Yeah.
On
I
some
thought she's
planet.
I thought she's Thor now.
Now she's the king.
Now she's buddies with Thor. Well, now she's the king of Queen of Asgard.
Of New
Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's like 60 people.
And then we got what's her face? The new in the door, the girl that sometimes can act.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Jane Foster?
Yeah.
That's great.
She's not new.
Yeah, she was there.
How is this related to what we're
She
talking
was in
about?
Thor Dark.
My favorite Marvel character is Darcy the intern.
All right, shut up.
Yeah.
So
Darcy
the
killed her.
timekeepers are not real.
They were animatronics.
They were robots.
I can't wait for in Avengers Campus for them to just make those animatronics, but then they're real. Whole TVA building.
Ravonna was lying.
They need
She knew the whole
No,
time.
the queue for like the ride or whatever is like the queue to get into the TVA, and they play
Yeah.
that video.
Wait,
that would actually
That'd
be kind
so
of cool.
Do you think she
He's
knew?
like, get a ticket.
Huh?
What?
Do you think she knew that they were robots though?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
why she was trying to protect
That's why
them
she
so
didn't want
much.
them to get close.
Then
Why
why?
did she-
Then how come at the beginning of the episode she went down there?
Because she's like, the robots are.
Because whoever's controlling the robots is probably just talking to her through the robots.
Yeah, I guess so.
She's not controlling the robots.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Who's controlling the
You
robots?
kind of
Mephisto.
wonder if she knows all of this. Why is she helping the?
Well, and the thing is that she clearly didn't know this before because she used to just be a guard
Right.
before because she abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sylvie
that's
as a
the
child.
other thing is that we know she wasn't in charge before.
Yeah.
So she got promoted. I bet she's like scared
So,
of them, and that's why she's doing
one-
it.
Which also means that they've been in there for thousands and thousands of years. Because if Sylvie was a child when she was kidnapped and now she's like an adult Asgardian, Asgardians take freaking forever to age.
Well, my thing is
Maybe they only take forever to age.
Well,
Asgard.
what
No, it
happened?
just take forever to age.
What happened to the guy who used to run the TV?
Yeah, and what happened to the old judge?
Do they age?
Because we see
in there?
him. He was in the
Yeah.
flashback. In the
Do they
background.
age? Did he die? Does the time
Well, you know how
die
time works
die?
differently in the TVA.
Yeah.
Maybe he just.
I don't know. Time flows differently here.
Yeah.
That's their
Oh,
explanation.
and then the big thing was that at the end, Loki gets poofed.
But then he ends up in.
But then he ends up in
all the
Magic
other
Loki world with
Yeah.
other Lokis there. There's Richard E. Grant,
So
There's
maybe
a-
the
who
staff
plays
just
old
send
60s Loki.
There's Kid Loki.
There's Kid Loki.
There's
I think
I love-
African American Loki,
Look-
but he's got a hammer.
and
I
Lizard
love it when
Loki.
Loki is just like, oh yeah, we're just meant to lose. We always lose.
yeah. Girl Loki's like, yeah, I think what makes Loki is that we just kind of suck all the time. It's just how it be.
So.
And he's like,
I'm
no,
pretty
you're
sure-
beautiful, and also you didn't get caught, except for now.
Except for now we are caught. But that don't.
Well,
Pretty
up
sure
until
staffs-
now,
I think the staff just send you to a place where it's all the.
for hundreds of years, you didn't get caught.
No, because that doesn't make sense.
I think it just said because like I think what they're gonna allude to. Well, I think what they're gonna reveal is that they didn't actually kill any of them. That they're all just sent to this place.
Do we have any tech time?
I don't think so.
And so plot
Unless
of
you want to find something real quick.
the plot of
Episode
episode 5 will be.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay, so there's 2 episodes left, right? There's 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Episode 5.
Well,
the
is there
plot-
8 episodes?
No, there's 6.
I thought there was 8. Let me look.
No, there are
Obi-Wan's
6.
six.
All of the Marvel shows are 6.
No.
Yep, except for WandaVision.
WandaVision was
That's the
7.
only one that's not going to be
No,
6.
Up in the Winter Soldier was longer.
No, it was
Yeah,
6.
it was. It was like 8.
It
Yeah,
was
It
6.
was like 8 episodes.
It was 6.
No,
I
really.
guarantee it was 8.
It was 8. It was not 6.
Episode count 6.
No, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Let's go to the Disney Plus website.
So okay, I'm already losing it. If it ever was worth so much for
Okay, what's next on the?
No, I gotta prove you wrong.
I want to find out how many episodes it's going.
It's going to be 6.
I mean,
It
I
keeps
could-
saying 4, but obviously that's not true.
He says 6.
6.
Okay, well whatever.
Well, they can
There's
finish
6
it in
then.
6. There's
So
nothing-
episode 5, he'll be walking around this weird dimension with all these other
And then
Lokis.
he'll escape at the end.
He's
of the
gonna
episode.
find Mobius, who he's gonna have to break out of a weird mental
Yeah,
prison.
and they'll
And then they'll escape at the end.
And then they'll have their final battle.
And then they'll have their final battle with the TVA. They'll destroy the TVA at the end.
And then at the end they'll reveal.
That'll cause the multiverse to start branching out uncontrollably. And then there'll be a post-credit scene that alludes to Kang the Conqueror and/or whoever the villain in Doctor Strange 2 is.
Definitely King the Conqueror.
Wait, and that's why they call Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Is because this ends with a multiverse being created.
Wow, look at Patrick putting things together.
Everybody did that second episode.
Now Patrick's like, oh man.
Oh, he's so good. Look at him.
No, you gotta take off your hat and do the.
Yeah, I was waiting for Richard E. Grant to show up. He was announced as the main cast for this, and everyone was like, "Where is?"
Where did he go?
I really hope Owen Wilson isn't dead.
Because he was the.
He was a good guy. He
I
was a
think
good
he
guy.
might just be
He was
dead.
like, how?
I think there's a good chance he might just be dead.
But no,
Then we
Loki
riot.
got zapped and he didn't die.
Yeah, but he's Loki.
Loki doesn't die.
He's got main character powers.
That would be funny if he was just sent to a universe where it's just a bunch of other Mobiuses.
Wait, what do they call it when you get hit with the stick?
Pruned?
Yeah.
So it can be called the Pruniverse.
Pruniverse?
The Mobius verse is just a bunch of Mobius going.
Owen
Jet ski.
Wilson.
Just
Because like
I swear, that's not the last line. It's like,
there
wow,
are
right,
a
Jet
couple
ski.
shots in the trailer of Mobius that have not appeared in the show
Is
yet.
Moby gonna be?
It says he's cast for episode 5 and 6.
Okay, well, yeah, he'll probably.
He's not gonna die.
Maybe he'll be like a memory.
They knew the fans would.
Plus, they need a new agent.
I don't know.
No.
It'd be weird to do a flashback.
They need him to be the new Coulson.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, you think he'll go work for Nick Fury after this? That'd be
Probably.
fun.
For Sword?
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
No, well, I think it would have Shield.
Shield is
Shield
exploded.
is gone. Shield's been gone since Civil War.
Yeah, I think
No.
it's
Not since
Winter
Winter
Shield has
Soldier.
been gone since Winter. That was 7 years ago, Max.
What are you talking about?
Do you know
Do you have any
anything?
idea what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. I watched all the movies. I forgot about Shield. I thought they were still.
We made a whole show about it.
Oh, well.
4 seasons long.
It's not
No,
very
Agents of
good.
Shield is 7 seasons.
Well,
long.
fine. It's 7 seasons long.
You
I
should watch it,
didn't know
and
that.
then you're gonna watch it, and then report back to us for the podcast.
We're not gonna watch it.
Wait, did Shield die when everybody was Hydra? And then,
That whole movie they made about that specific
Remember when they
event.
remember when they
Why was
blew up
McFurious still doing stuff?
because
he wasn't part of Hydra.
he was just doing
It
things.
does make you wonder why they promoted a guy to be their director who wasn't part of Hydra.
That was stupid. They
But
should've
I don't. Who cares?
Why didn't they make new Shield?
They did. It's called Sword.
Why don't they make new Shield?
Are you brain dead?
This guy is really dumb. Patrick, where did you find him?
He lives here with you.
All right.
That's what you're supposed to say.
What else?
Craigslist.
We got a lot of rumor time.
Yes, we do. Well, we have 2. Okay. First rumor.
Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this Avatar stuff after you talk about the.
Rumor time.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
So it.
Avatar last-
Shush. Wait. Okay. So Superman. There's rumors that a Superman game is in development from WB Montreal. This is weird because they're currently working on Gotham Knights. And they're not that big of a team, so it'd be weird for them to be juggling 2 big projects like this at the
I
same
don't
time.
think this matters.
This could be an early development. I don't think they're.
Yeah.
even
Okay.
close
I
to
gotta talk
development.
about this because I have to get ready for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So the character descriptions from the casting calls for Avatar have
This is the live action one for Netflix.
for the live
right?
action Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah, have leaked. And from the character descriptions, we know that it is set in a school. It does not take place in a world of bending. Their powers are described as a surprise to them. Aang has adopted parents. Katara's mom died in a supernatural event. Zuko's dad is now a career military man, not the Fire Lord. And his dad is pressuring him to beat Aang in a school project, and that is the plot. And yeah, that's what we know about the show. So the show's gonna be
Oh
bad.
my god, that sounds like the Ninjago movie.
No, it sounds like
Okay,
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Wait. Where did these leaks come from?
I don't know, look it up.
Come from the leak machine.
Last Airbender Netflix leaks. Where did you hear about them?
It was like a news article that I read. And then I clicked that and it linked me to a different news article that it was the source.
Casting call.
That's so dumb. If they do that, I'm gonna boycott Netflix.
You don't even have Netflix.
Yeah, but I'm gonna boycott them more.
Do you trust boundingintocomics.com?
It's not the Netflix app.
All
This
of
is
them-
according to news outlet Night Edge Media.
Well, you gotta go to the bottom because they're linked to another one.
This is definitely not a website full of viruses.
Whenever it says McAfee at the top,
That's how you know it's good. Oh, that's something we can do for Tech Talk. McAfee was found dead in a Mexican prison.
No,
Was probably killed by the CIA.
did you see, who's that guy that I told you got out of prison? That I texted
Oh,
you?
Cosby?
Yeah, Cosby. And did you see his last tweet?
No.
His last tweet was, I have no information that could lead to the arrest of
Sam,
Hillary
what
Clinton.
did the leaks say how old
Because you know how
Katara
anyone who
is?
knows that, okay, you know, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
People who are in with
Hang on,
guns get
1 second.
Killed.
Weren't there leaks before that Katara was going to be older than Sokka in this one?
No, that wasn't a leak. That's just something we know. Like the
Okay, well,
writers
according
said
to the
that.
casting call, the leaked one, she will be younger than him. So those are conflicting pieces of information.
Well, I don't know. They might have changed it. I don't remember.
Okay, I don't think this is correct.
Okay, and in different news, we
It
got,
sounds. It is more likely that Netflix would do that than make an actual good adaptation. Though.
Yeah.
That's why I
I mean,
believe.
we know
it.
that the creators left for some
Yeah,
reason.
the creators left because they were like they're not doing the show right.
So in tech time,
Yeah,
Windows 11 came
Windows
out.
11 was revealed,
And it
by
looks pretty good,
Microsoft.
actually.
Looks pretty cool.
It looks exactly like the leaked version.
but
And it can do cool things with Windows and multiple desktops with different screensavers.
So you can
or in different desktop wallpapers. And it's got a new start thing. And oh my gosh, Teams is integrated into the OS.
We've got Teams integration, so they have their stupid version of iMessage now.
Even though Teams is like a corporate thing. It's like what I use at work.
They'll probably change Teams also.
You know what they really should have gone with? They have Skype. They own Skype.
They should have used Skype.
They could just call it.
No, they need to just Skype's dead. They need to just make a new thing.
They have GroupMe too.
Just make a new thing.
I know, just
I like
just
Skype.
make Skype and GroupMe one thing and call it like
Yeah.
Microsoft Messenger.
Just
There you go.
Just make
Perfect.
warp.
Just make messages. Have a messages app. One that doesn't suck. One that works.
isn't called Teams because that doesn't make any sense for what they're trying to use it for,
Yeah.
advertise it for.
But yeah, so the taskbar is now center aligned, and you cannot move it to the
Yeah, you
sides
can
or
move,
top.
but you can like left align it, like left.
No, you
align
can
the
you can
app.
move the apps, but like the bar you can't move.
Right, which a lot of people hate, but
Thank
honestly,
goodness, because I hate it when people have.
It's like
Some
a
people
sin.
put the taskbar on the side of their screen, Patrick.
I know it's absurd.
Awful.
Oh,
It's terrible.
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean?
You know how you can right-click the taskbar and put it on like the left or right side?
Like on Google?
No, like on the
you see
taskbar at the bottom of your screen.
and you can like put it over here or over here.
Where
Don't do it.
Where? No, I just want to see. What do I do?
You might have to go to settings.
Display
It
settings.
should just be like taskbar alignment.
Yeah, people in my school did that.
Search taskbar in the settings.
Okay, whatever. If you can find it, you're stupid.
No, people did that all the time on the
No,
Chromebook.
it's
hate it
awful.
when
It
people
goes
do
at
that.
the bottom.
It looks so bad.
There's
And
a
it
reason it's
messes with the aspect ratio of your entire computer. People who do that are stupid. I'm talking to you, person who does that. Anyways,
And the thing
they
is,
don't let you do that
a lot
anymore,
of
which
screens,
I like.
A lot of screens are taller than 16 by 9,
Yeah,
specifically.
for that taskbar. And people just ignore it. And they just do it anyways and ruin their whole display. It makes me so sad.
Okay, but you can't do that anymore.
Now you can't do that. Because they added new like widget menus in the sides, so they didn't want you to put it there because it messes with
Yeah,
their
but how
aesthetic.
hard it would have been for them to make the widget menu come out of somewhere else? Like, they could have done it. It's just they chose not.
Well, no, they could have just put the taskbar there and just had the widget menu just cover it whenever it comes out. But
Okay, and
anyways.
I think you should all use macOS, so
I feel that's the wrong opinion.
it's not, it's the correct.
Alright, is that the show?
macOS looks.
Because Sam has to
Is that the show?
I think that's it. I think that's everything, guys.
Alright, thanks for tuning in as always. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please don't leave.
Interact, please. All right, bye.
See you later, guys. Send us